Hey everyone, welcome back to the Crypto ZX channel. If you're new, please consider subscribing. But now let's discuss internet computer. The internet computer community is absolutely insane. And the reason as to why I say this is because I am a content creator, right? And the way this community backs their project is really, really nice to see. And I understand, internet computer is still in its early stage in terms of, competing it with the big boys. And unfortunately, some of the die-hard ICP fans think that I'm saying something negative when I say that. I keep things realistic, and it's really, really early in terms of, obviously it's a layer one, but if we're comparing, ICP compared to ADA, compared to Avalanche, compared to Solana, there's a huge difference still. But hear me out carefully. That does not mean that the potential is not there, right? When you invest in these assets, obviously you're doing your due diligence and research, and you are obviously investing on the product and where its potential is going to be. People that think that it's already bigger in terms of market valuation, in terms of usability, that's the word that I'm looking for. In terms of usability, it's DeFi compared to the likes of Solana, Cardano, Avalanche. I'm sorry, you need to realize that it's not as of now, but that does not mean that can't change. But speaking about ICP's price, it's up about 12.8% on the daily time frame. And of course, at this point, I'm sure you guys know that pretty much everything is up at this point. But let's take a further look at ICP, see what is happening, and of course, what are some next price targets that we could be aiming for. Before I get into the analysis, as always, just a quick disclaimer: anything on this channel is not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence and research when you are investing in crypto. So if we're looking at the price right now, it's currently sitting at $10. We're up about 12.7% as mentioned to you guys in USD comparative. It's also up 12.7% in Bitcoin comparative over the past 24 hours. Market cap currently sitting at 4.55 billion. And the 24-hour trading volume currently sitting at $322 million, which is really nice to see, to be quite frank with you. But, let's take it a little step further and obviously discuss the price, because that's what everyone is super excited about. So before I do that, as always, just a quick disclaimer: anything on this channel is not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence and research when you are investing in crypto. So take a look at ICP's price. So as we're looking at it, we're seeing the price go back above that resistance. And the importance of this resistance that I continuously spoke about, which is at $9.71. Yesterday we were trading at about $8.54. And if you are a huge ICP, fan, and you were dollar cost averaging and around that point, you are up right now about 15% after having a pullback. Before the pullback, it did go up almost 30%, which is really nice to see, of course. But everyone wants to know what is next. Everyone wants it to start being compared to Sol. We're still too early, in terms of that stage. It's gonna take its time, and it's not just gonna get there in a matter of the next 24 hours. But we're going to take it one step at a time, as I've said, but let's take a look at what's happening with the price right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to the hourly time frame for you guys. So, if we're looking at it on the closer time frames, the chart doesn't look as bad. I'm sorry, it doesn't look as bad even, if we're looking at it on the daily time frame, but especially when you're looking at it on the hourly time frame, you understand what exactly is happening with ICP. So as I've mentioned to you guys before, this resistance is extremely important, but of course now it's playing as a level of support. So we did see the price retest that $11 mark. See the significance of that $11 mark? We have resistance at that point. So we're seeing a little bit of a minor pullback. But what you as an ICP holder want to see ICP do is that it wants to stay above this level of support at this $9.70. what I would like ICP to do is start trading sideways within this range. So this range is between $9.70 all the way up to $11.80. So as long as it stays here, that is a good indication. And the longer it trades sideways, the more support it's building. So once we pop out of there, you know, I've said this to you guys before, the overall target remains the same, because if we pop out of here, the next major resistance pretty much is at $14.14. That's where I think the price will see a little bit of a retest. So pretty much we could see you know, ICP breaking out of here and flying straight to $14.15. So if I were to bring out the measuring tool from that resistance, that's an additional move of about 22%, and I could see that happening once we broke out of that resistance. So, you know, really exciting to see the way ICP is holding. I like the way it's performing, but one thing we do want to realize is that the entire market is pumping right now. But I understand where people are coming from, where this excitement is coming from. This project originally launched, you know, at the peak of the previous bull market, and a lot of people say that SBF manipulated ICP. You know, people say that, you know, SBF wanted Solana to, you know, do better compared to ICP, because at the end of the day, you know, layer one, both are layer ones, and of course they're competitors. So what people are saying is SBF did not have the best interest towards ICP, so he, you know, manipulated ICP on purpose. So, you know, potentially could be the case. That guy was an absolute criminal. As we know, he is a guy that I just cannot wrap my head around. And honestly, I've said this, if you've been following me on my channel from the beginning, I never even created an account on FTX. It just never appealed me. But that's just how things go. But you know, obviously if we keep those factors in mind, it does kind of make sense, because let me tell you something. Solana came out a little bit before ICP, and ICP launched a little later, of course, you know, pretty much at the peak of the bull run, arguably. And I understand where, you know, he wanted Sol to pump up, and, you know, explains it, because we know the connection FTX and Sol had. And, you know, obviously being connected, Solana being connected to Solana, Solana being connected to FTX was a huge reason as to why I even saw Solana fall all the way down to $8, you know, last year when we saw that massive crash. And, you know, that was a risk factor, right? And it affected a lot of people, but that was a roadblock. Look where Sol is at now. So, you know, these are some factors we need to keep in mind, but we'll take it one step at a time. I like how they're building a decentralized internet, something we use on a day-to-day basis. And one thing I forgot to mention to you guys is, as I've said, the DeFi on ICP is still really early. It's in the early stages. But what I'm starting to see is more projects that are doing Launchpad on ICP. So they're pretty much building on ICP, which could be interesting. So let's see how it goes. As far as investors' confidence goes, you know, we're seeing a tremendous amount of investors' confidence on ICP, but we'll take it one step at a time. Let me know where you see ICP trading at the end of next year. December 31st, 2024. What will one ICP trade in at? Let me know in the comments. Love you all. See you tomorrow. Been Crypto ZX, and peace out.